Hello viewers, I'm SB, and this is Age of Wonders Planetfall. People have been trying to get me to play an Age of Wonders game basically since I started doing Let's Plays. I tried Age of Wonders 3 a couple of times, bounced off of it, really not due to any fault of the games. You ever have that thing happen where you're trying to get into a new thing that totally aligns with your interests, something you should by all rights be into, and you don't have any problem with the thing itself, it's just your brain is looking elsewhere? It's all like, oh man, do we have the stuff to make cupcakes? We should make some cupcakes. Or maybe just go out and buy some cupcakes. And so that's what happened. I went out and bought cupcakes instead of learning how to play the game. But I'm here now. This thing is new. I am in a good headspace. Let's learn a new 4X game. Together. Also, let's watch a short cinematic together.
The currents of the void shift around me. Follow my voice, my last possession. My name was Empress Carmenia, and I was the last regent of the Star Union. We built a paradise on 1,000 planets, a glistening web strung between the stars. But the cataclysm shattered all, leaving our people stranded and alien to one another. Whoever you are, whatever you have become, it is time to leave this dark age behind and return to the worlds of your ancestors. Uncover our secrets, but heed our mistakes. Forge a new empire, a new age of wonders.
Oh, I get it. That's the name of the video game. That's a weirdly common thing in science fiction settings, especially science fiction settings that are that have a game attached to them. The idea that we had a big, much fancier galactic empire, and then there was this galactic backslide in technology, so rather than inventing new things and coming up with new ideas, you're just rediscovering ideas we already had. Not really, I think, in one of the strongest suits of science fiction storytelling. Kind of a strange idea, unless you're like really terrified of the future, and you just want that. You want the comfort of the idea that things were once better than they are, which is generally not how history works. But, so I did the tutorial world already. I kind of basically understand how to control the game. We're going to learn about the strategic implications of stuff together, though, I'm sure. We'll have a variety of embarrassing failures at first, but that's okay. Failure's how we learn. Failure's instructive, and eventually we will be good. So we could play through, it seems like we can start playing through the human storyline, which is kind of, whatever, not what I come to a weird sci-fi 4X for. Or this storyline as the Kirko. Through rapid evolution, the Kirko seek to restore what was broken. It might be Kirko. And will find retribution for the terrible fate that has befallen them. And unfortunately, we do not have the mechanical context to really evaluate the positives and negatives of these bullet points here. But Bugmen, that's a cool thing. Or the Dvar Consortia. Are these space dwarves? A thrifty race of survivalists. They work hard to mine planets. Okay, yeah, they're space dwarves. Well, that's cool, but I've been a dwarf lots of times in fantasy games. I don't feel like I get to play as a bug that often. So we're going to do this one. There's a bunch of perks down here. Okay, again, a lack of mechanical context makes it difficult to evaluate these. Let's just get in here and learn by doing. We'll figure stuff out.
For centuries, the Kirko had to suffer at the hands of our human oppressors. They feared our psionic abilities, feared us because we were different. So they enslaved us, mutilated our ancestors, whose tormented memories still echo in the minds of the living. But the Kirko are resilient. We evolved without the severed hive until we finally broke free from our shackles.
Okay, so, like, a psionic hive mind bugman is not a super uncommon thing in science fiction stories, but this is kind of an interesting idea, like the literalization of the tormented memories of your ancestors. Like, any colonized people are going to have, figuratively, the tormented memories of their ancestors who were colonized echoing in their psyche. But to literalize that through a hive mind is a really interesting concept, I think.
As Swarm Herald of
there's more.
Terran, I have been chosen to lead my colony to a new place to settle, a new place to call home. This is a heavy burden. as we are confronted with our past in every corner of the former Star Union. With the unity of the hive mind gone, different voices have arisen amongst our people. Some are seeking vengeance, while others like myself feel that we need to build our own future, away from mankind and human conflicts.
Well, the good news is I'm the Swarm Herald, so presumably my vote is the only one that counts. If there are multiple screens of story text, I feel like it could just go from one to the other without requiring my input. I kind of thought we were going to jump to the... Yeah, whatever, it's fine.
Our search has been fruitless for some time now, and the dreams of my ancestors have been growing darker inside of me as a result. I'm in need of guidance to understand their meaning and to not succumb to the black emptiness they project around me. To this end, I have followed the tracks of the fabled dream reader Hatil O'Uk to a planet the humans call Arcadia Celeste.
Okay, now we're actually done with the story thing.
Arcadia Celeste lies ahead of us. I can feel it reaching out, a soothing presence bringing calm to the turmoil of the swarm. No wonder Hatil O'Uk was drawn here. This may be the place of tranquility we've all been longing for.
Yeah, sure, it looks pretty tranquil, I guess as much as it can from space. So it's about half land, half water, it's a one big landmass. Okay, go forth and find the Dream Reader. So like I said, I did the tutorial. I'll be able to guide you through the very basics here. Wow, our colony ship thing actually really gives me the heebie-jeebies. That is a creepy looking object. Okay. There is no greater comfort than sinking your carcass into the bog on a misty morning. Yeah, that's true. I always say that. This planet has much to offer. I can sense a strong void presence calling my mind, allowing me to reach through the veil and watch a short cinematic. Yet I still fail to understand its bizarre beauty when black tides start swallowing the echoes of the ancestral dreams. Hatch Brother Karash made an early landing to search for the Dream Reader. Feel his mind drawing closer. He must be returning soon. Until he does, I need to control the urges inside and listen to the will of the swarm. My people are restless. The new hatch has emerged hungrily from their eggs, and the cocoons of the previous generation larvae have all been feasted on during the rite of conversion. Yeah, of course, as always. Now they lust for more, and the colony must provide. The swarm has grown restless during your travels. You must gather supplies and still the hunger of the next generation. Annex a sector with the Meadows feature as a province to your starting colony to get food. Okay, food. Get food. Alright, we can get our food income up to 50. I believe in us. So, if we do that, we'll get, it looks like a couple of unit designs. Alright, we'll investigate those in a little bit more detail when we actually get them. So what have we started with here? It looks like we started with a couple of armies and our city. This is our main army. We have here our unit, or our faction commander, and a couple of types of guys. So I think Hidden is the name of this unit, and Skirmisher is its type. I think that's how you read that. It's invisible to other players due to universal camouflage. Do all of our units do that? No, it's just... Okay, just the guys who have the little eye here. That makes sense. So he maybe should not be merged with the army. Maybe he should be off scouting on his own. And we have some Frenzied with Rending Claws and Battle Vomit, which is, of course, the most dangerous kind of vomit. And then an Unleashed, which shoots gunk. So up here at the top you can see movement points. A number of movement points and also a movement type. I think this is just like walking along the ground. This is wings, obviously. And we have over here another thing that is just, yeah, it's just an Unleashed by itself for scouting purposes. And our town, which unfortunately has a name that I can't pronounce. You don't do a lot of F's followed by Q's in the English language. But this thing... So, we can produce units, we can produce buildings, you know, pretty standard 4X stuff. The game is played on a hex grid. If we click on an army here and mouse over, you can see the hexes a little bit more clearly. The world map seems to be broken up into regions, a little bit like Endless Legend. Only one city per region, so we're going to have to claim these other things around us. and you cannot build cities in regions adjacent to cities. But you can do stuff with those intermediary regions, as we will see. First, I suppose, what is going on here? We have some kind of neutrals.
These are Marauder guards. Having taken a location of value, they will remain there and protect it with their lives.
Okay, they're hopper hounds. They're like I fought some of these in the tutorial. They're basically like really mean grasshoppers. They will grow stronger as the game goes on. Okay, pretty standard neutral enemy stuff. I guess let's go kill the neutrals? Let's go kill the neutrals and take all of their stuff.
This combat preview is shown prior to any attack. All participating armies are shown, and you will also see an indication of the enemy army's strength compared to your own forces.
When an army is attacked, the adjacent hex rule will cause adjacent armies to be drawn in. So, any army that is adjacent to the defending army in an attack gets to participate. So if I'd taken our scout over here and like moved him there before doing this, we'd get to include him in the battle, which is a way that we will win through numbers when we cannot win through combat skill. Alright, let's go ahead and do it manually. This is probably like a really, really easy battle, I'm guessing, based on the numbers that we're seeing here, but we should get used to the combat system. So it's got a sort of a simple tactical combat thing going on.
Commanders can choose to lead battles themselves using the tactical combat system. Help messages are available for new commanders to learn the basics of combat.
No, you know what? I already did the tutorial. I'll explain it to y'all. So there's like a simple cover system. These guys probably have some cover from that garbage they moved over to. You can see when we move up to some things give half cover, some things give full cover. It's probably pretty familiar. It just reduces the chance of enemy units to hit you. And then each of our units has... Can I zoom in a little bit more here? Yeah, each of our units has 3 action points at the beginning of each turn. So the reason you're seeing differently demarcated, like colored areas on the ground, is that's telling you how many of your action points will be spent if you move places. Inside of this green area, where like centered right on top of us, we could move here and keep all of our action points. If I moved out into this area, it would cost us 1. If I moved out into here, it would cost us 2. Attacking is going to cost us the rest of our actions, so obviously it's important to move into a reasonable position first. Unfortunately, it looks like they're too far away for us to do much of anything to them. What are all of our abilities here? So we have, move, rotate. Oh, unit facing matters in the game. It's something that I'm going to have to get used to. And we have our psi rifle, a long-range psionic damage shot. Because it's psionic, it bypasses all... I'm going to assume that's like temporary hit points, that's shielding. Defense mode. This unit ends its turn and goes into defense mode, becomes harder to be hit, and cannot be flanked. It seems like the function of that is effectively it is facing all sides at once. You have Overwatch, and then we have a couple of other interesting things here. Channeling their powers, this unit teleports, spreading a cloud of obscuring smoke around the target hex's location. Okay, that's interesting. And we also have a snapshot. Okay, so this requires... This is full action. We can only do this if we have all 3 of our action points left, but we can do a snapshot if we've moved and fired. What's the difference, though? Okay, this has 90% accuracy, 16 damage, and 9 range, maybe? That might be range? Okay, snapshot's just as accurate, but less damage and less range. Okay, makes sense to me. Well, let's try to take up some superior positions here, get ourselves a little bit of vulnerability, and then just like Overwatch. Because the enemies are pretty far away. So we go into Overwatch mode, we have to set a facing. I think it's probably a good idea to keep the gun aimed in this general direction. Okay, wait, which guy was that? That's the hidden. The frenzied are melee attackers, the rending claws, and of course we have that sweet battle vomit. Short range, 3 hex range. Okay, it's like a grenade. That's interesting. I guess we just run forward. I don't really. How far can they move? Can we see that? We can. Okay. So inside this outer area is where they can move to, but they'll have no action points left. So I think it's probably safe to move into that area. I want to get my own melee troops close enough that they can participate in combat. Yeah, go into defense mode. Alright, here's our hero. What's his deal? Launch a psionic soul spear at a target enemy unit. Okay, that seems cool. Also, we have the Psi Stones of Dissonance, as you might imagine. A short-range cone attack. Alright, well, I'm not going to stress too much about these attacks, because it looks to me like we're not really going to be able to do anything this first turn. So let's just move everybody forward a little bit, get into defense mode. Our flying unit is very fast, and also, you know, obviously flying. So I guess we'll just try to, like, maybe set up a flank. I'm not sure. I think these guys are only melee attackers. They might not even be able to hit a flying unit. Can these guys get close enough to do damage to us if we're... No, we're probably safe over here. So you can see when a melee unit ends its turn, it will often get this little icon above it. That means it's in melee Overwatch mode, where it effectively has like attacks of opportunity. If something tries to move through one of the adjacent hexes, it will get clawed. So I'm going to move a couple of units forward this way. These guys are going to be flanking, and the flying guys are going to be flanking around the other side, is the idea. Oh, we've swarm shielded. Hey, I should probably like figure out what swarm shield is. I'm assuming from the way it popped up there that it happens when you are adjacent to friendlies. Is there an obvious readout of our effects or anything? Okay, that's armor. That's shields. So wait, what's the difference between them? Armor reduces incoming damage, but is ignored by psionic attacks. And shields reduce incoming damage, but are ignored by melee attacks. Okay. And also we have skulls. Oh, that's our morale. Okay. Oh, right, I forgot. They have a dramatic combat jump on account of being monstrous grasshopper things. Well, we got our Overwatch off. And then they ran in and triggered a bunch of our melee Overwatch. So you see how sometimes it says, when they attack us, it's staggering us? When a unit is staggered, that breaks its Overwatch. It probably does a bunch of other stuff too, but for our purposes, the important part is it breaks our Overwatch. Let's have our flying unit come in. I'm wondering if we could knock these guys out and, you know, thus disable their melee Overwatch, because I don't want them getting attacks of opportunity on all of our dudes.
Enemy destroyed.
Listen, the bug-on-bug violence is regrettable, but sometimes unavoidable. Let's try battle vomiting. Should be able to do this in such a way that it hits all of the enemies and none of us. It doesn't do a huge amount of damage. It does remove armor, and it ignores line of sight penalties, so, you know, it's good as a way of getting over cover. I clicked the wrong button is what I did there. Okay, it's not a huge amount of damage, but it is damage to multiple targets. Actually, it's about as much damage as we do with our normal melee attack. We want to battle vomit as much as possible, I guess. Seems like in a lot of situations, it's just better than clawing people. Well, then we'll get a little closer and we'll vomit. This army is extremely gross. It's like a really gross way to fight. So this guy is in Overwatch range, and I'm a little worried that he's going to get hurt here. I don't exactly know how this works. The Rending Claws might stagger the enemy unit, reducing action points and canceling defensive modes. So you'll notice our unit started with only one action point this turn. That's because he got staggered twice. So staggered does seem pretty important. I think this is going to get us hit. Let's try it. Let's just try it so that we understand how the thing works. Once again, just clicking the wrong button. Okay, we did trigger their Overwatch. So it's not just moving away, it is actions. I was pretty sure that was the case, that doing an action within melee Overwatch range would also trigger it, but good to be certain. Alright, so you can see when we mouse over a location, it gives us sort of a targeting color on all the enemies. That one guy has a green targeting reticle, indicating that the shot against him will be pretty good.
Enemy annihilated.
Alright. easy. So we just gotta find a place where we can get a solid snapshot against this other dude, right? We should be able to shoot him from here. I'm not sure. I'm assuming he's not lit up because our primary attack won't be useful against him. But if I'm understanding the way this works right, yeah. We don't have a great chance of actually hitting him, but we may as well take it.
Enemy eliminated.
I will say that shot didn't seem to be terribly forceful. He just sort of staggered around a bit.
Gain experience based on the number of enemies that were defeated during that combat. A unit that has earned sufficient experience levels up and can gain various bonuses.
Okay, that's very straightforward. Total combat experience divided evenly over the number of friendly units, so winning battles with lots of guys means everybody gets a little bit less. Okay, these are pretty straightforward systems here. Do we have any move left? No, obviously, as is the case in most of these kind of things, the slowest unit in an army is caps the army's movement ability. So we got a bunch more neutrals all around the place. What do we want to do with our scout? I guess let's just have a look. That's glowing. That's probably important. Let's have a look in that direction. We've discovered a gravity generator. Select the sector for more information.
Remnants of the Star Union that give a visiting army a boost. This can either be an instant effect or an effect that lasts until the end of the unit's next combat.
Okay. They also provide minor economic benefits when their sector is annexed to a colony. So it's a commodities shipping center. A war monument honoring ancient heroes of the Star Union. It provides a 20% increased accuracy to visiting units for their next combat. And it also adds 2, that's morale, right? When it is within your domain. Okay. Well, then we'll have to come over here and get that. Area surveillance.
If you want to improve your capabilities,
oh, this is a
you don't just set a goal, you must also monitor it. Only by carefully watching your progression, guarding against backsliding, can you achieve solid success. Tony Rubio Strong, Manpower and Machine Motivational Consulting.
Okay, that's a weird delivery of that whole thing. Hold on a second. No offense meant to all the people who worked very hard on all of that stuff, but we're just gonna... Let's see here. We're just gonna kill the speech audio, like, entirely, maybe? You know, it's just very distracting is all. Nurturing. Okay, this is another research that was completed. So we have 2 tech trees, effectively. It's a little bit like Civ 6, except that they're much more directly just 2 tech trees. Like, you have just the one science research, or resource, and it affects them both equally. So this has given us some doctrine operations, and also the ability to make a brood cluster. Gathering the broods together allows for more efficient reproduction turnover. So you get 50% of your food income as a production discount when producing resources while doing it. Okay, that's pretty cool. So let's have a look at our tech tree. Hold on a second, it's going to take me a little while to get used to all of the UI here. Somewhere around here, we have a technology tree. I'm going to be honest with you, in the tutorial, they opened it up for me. I don't know where the button is. Okay, proper research will not be available until next turn. These are the 2 trees, I guess. We have to upgrade our commander. Did he level up, or... Yeah, I guess he must have. So we have 15 skill points available, and a significant number of things to choose from. Hero can equip Tier 1 and 2 vehicles. I don't think we have any vehicles. This seems good. Okay. Well, we're going to end up with just a huge number of traits and stuff here. Hold on. Before I click anything, we should actually look at all this stuff. Increases melee damage. That doesn't really seem like his deal. 10% range damage up seems good. Air units in his army deal 10% additional damage. We do have 1 air unit in that army. Melee Overwatch can no longer be cancelled by stagger and will never miss. I'm assuming this applies only to him and not to all the units in his army. This gives us the ability to attempt to feed on the hope of a target enemy unit, causing it to enter a state of despair. And also heals you for 20. Wow, so it's like literally feeding on an abstract concept. That's kind of weird. I don't know. It seems powerful. It doesn't really do a ton of damage. Not directly, anyway. Hero provides an additional 2 shields. That's shields, not armor, right? Units' melee attacks give it frenzy. We're not really a melee guy. Adjacent units with swarm shield gain plus 20% damage. Okay, that seems interesting. Just stay near your guys to give them all a damage buff. Heavy ground units, light ground units. Okay, so damage boosts for various types of units. You can specialize commanders to run certain kinds of armies. This unit links itself to a target-friendly unit. Any damage dealt to the linked unit is reduced by 35% and then dealt to this unit instead. Okay, I can see the use of that. Channeling their psionic powers. Oh, this is the Shrouded Step ability that our other guy has. A sinister chorus permeates the air around this unit. All non-mindless enemy units adjacent to this unit receive sinister melody. Well, we're hoping that he's not going to be adjacent to people, right? Gains Overwatch on all primary ranged attacks and has an increased 20% accuracy with Overwatch. That seems pretty good, right? If I'm reading that correctly, it means we get to attack and then we still get Overwatch afterward. Let's take that and let's just focus on making him really good with his weird gun. This is the thing that shoots the Soul Spear. So, Deadeye and Ranged Specialist. Okay, and then there's upgraded versions of all of these traits. Is that true for Watchmen as well? No. Just some of them. You know, the ones that have the numbers after them. Do we want to just take Deadeye and Ranged Specialist until we spend all of our points? I'm not sure that I need any of this other stuff. I guess Fury of the Swarm is cool. Except that almost all the units in my army are melee, and I don't know that I necessarily want this guy to have to stay with them all the time. Let's just make him really good at shooting people. So that'll cost 12 of our points. I assume going heavy on accuracy is a powerful thing. It usually is in these sorts of games. And then for 3 more points, we could pick up Shrouded Step, allowing him to escape if he gets mobbed and stuff like that. Or we could just hold on to the skill points and spend them next level. Let's just do that for now. We'll say confirm. Okay, what else do we need to do? Upgrade commander. Oh, it's just offering me the chance to use the rest of my skill points. Maybe here. I'm gonna hit cancel here. We're gonna dismiss this notification. I'm curious. Maybe it's the case that you lose the skill points if you don't spend them right away. Maybe we can't bank them for the future. We're going to try just to see whether or not it works. All right, production in the cities. We could build units. We probably ought to build like basic infrastructure buildings, resource production stuff. The game suggests we build a central replicator, which gives more production. That is almost always the right thing to build first. I'm assuming there's a food building and like a science building. Science is purple in this game for some reason. And this grants some of your food income as a production bonus. I think we probably want to start with the central replicator just to help us get the other buildings up faster, and then we'll worry about getting food going. Our production queue is over here. Alright, I am not trying to upgrade my commander right now. And then we have... Oh, the objectives interface gives an overview of available objectives. Can we already see... I don't actually know how you win the game. I'm wondering... And like each campaign has an objective, or campaign mission has an objective, obviously, but if you play the game in a more standard 4X way, I'm not really sure how you win, so maybe some of this is, the active victory conditions for the current session can be seen here. Once researched, a capability rank is shown for each category, showing how well you are doing compared to the other players in the game. Also, covert operations can be used to gather extra information on non-allied players. In addition, the game features Empire tasks. These are divided into 3 categories, each representing an important pillar of your faction. Progressing through these yields rewards and sets you on a path to victory. Being the first commander to complete a task gives you an extra Pioneer reward. So, for example, if we did 2 quests for an NPC faction and achieved peace with them, we would get a permanent boost to our influence earned from quests, and if we're the first one to do it, we also get 25 influence. Okay, I understand this system, and like doing that will unlock the diplomat, presumably. Oh no, okay, it's unlocked by meeting another player. This one's unlocked by completing the emissary. Okay, interesting. A lot of stuff to keep track of. Well, let's not worry too much about this right now. We have sort of a simple direction for ourselves. This is what we're actually trying to do. We need to find the Dream Reader, so we're very exploration focused for this particular run. I'm good. No, am I not allowed to move on until I spend all of those points, really? Okay, there we go. I had to dismiss both of those notifications. Alright, I think we're ready to move to the next turn. Orders required. I have returned. All of these names are going to be difficult for me. How I've missed the soothing presence of the swarm. It was unmindful of me to scout alone. I will never understand why some of our people are embracing this newfound solitude of the lost hive. Still, I fared well on my mission. This planet is a marvel. It speaks to me, sharpens my psionic instincts. Whispers of the harmony beyond have guided me to the Dream Reader. In my mind, I saw him meditate within a ruined city, where void tears had fallen from the sky. Kurash extends his mind to you. As he shares his dream, you see images of his recent experiences passing by. You notice mountains and rivers, but also the bespoken ruins, where a blurry figure is engulfed in dulcet light. Suddenly, a wave of fury and hatred befalls you, washing away the rest of the vision, as the image of a solitary human settlement appears. Is there any place in this galaxy left without the sack bleeders? Wow, that is a harsh epithet. They invest every planet, devour every species crossing their path. Their greed knows no satiation, and consumption is their only purpose. Okay, that's a fair cow. He's totally got us there. And yet we showed them our mandibles and claws, on Catalyst Prime and on so many other liberated worlds. Kirko Terim were one of the first colonies to rise up and fight. Since then we evolved and grew stronger, while the sack bleeders withered like the ruins of their empire. When called to war by their herald, the swarm will not hesitate to respond and prevail. This is a thing that happens in a lot of fiction. Like, these characters are having a conversation where they're just relating to each other information that they both know the other one already knows, just so that we can hear it. It feels a little clumsy. Now, you know my position on this Kurash, and yet I shall restate it for you. Last night I revisited the third Green of Xaratosh. I was there on Zakirko, and though my senses were unfocused, I felt that I was home. Then I looked at the night sky and the fateful constellations guarding the secret of our origin, but once again they remained intangible and blurry. Together with the Dream Reader, I need to return to this fragment of the vision. With Hatil Ur-Uks, that's what they said, right? In the little story text, Ur-Uk, I think? I can achieve something greater than finding new hatching grounds for our swarm. We do not belong with the humans, not in peace and not in war. Okay, investigate these ruins over here. They may lead us to the ancient Dream Reader. Well, our scout is in extremely the wrong direction for that. I think I'll have our scout just kind of keep looking around over here. We'll have the main army head in that direction. So what's going on here? This looks important. This is a resource node. Feels like we ought to liberate that. Quote unquote liberate that. So have we recovered from battle? Where's the guy who got injured? It's not... Okay. So this is one of the guys who got injured. It's not super obvious. Oh no, never mind. There's a health bar right at the bottom. It is extremely obvious how much health he has left. Well, we'll just keep him in the back. It'll be fine. This is a safe battle. If we auto-combat, does it do like a pretty reasonable job of... Okay, it got us damaged a little bit more than we probably would have if we'd done that manually. And we got ourselves an awful lot of production, which I imagine just goes back to the nearest city that has completed our central replicator, which is cool. Let's head in this direction. So we need to move through here to our quest, but I do think that maybe we want to take these farms over before we do that. We don't have enough movement to enter another space. And this scout over here can just keep looking at all this stuff. So are we... Okay, we're pretty... Oh yeah, we have a mini-map over here. I was going to say, we're pretty close to the top boundary of the world. But I am kind of curious what all the stuff glowing in the mists is. Imperial Defenses are remnants of Star Union planetary defense systems. They have a sector-wide effect on any armies in the sector they are in. both on the world map as well as in any tactical combat that takes place within the sector. Okay, this is the commodity shipping center. An advanced production sector which gives the following when annexed. Plus 60 production and plus 6 per citizen who is working on production. And also unlocks a spaceship maintenance bay. Mechanical units produced here have plus 2 resistance to all damage. That seems cool. Alright, well this seems important. Not that there's a lot we could do about it with just our scout. Should we be running away here? I don't know that I want to necessarily get involved with a mega beetle baby and some wild harriers. I'm not actually sure what happens if neutrals attack. Like, I don't know how retreating works. I guess we're probably going to find out. And then we have... Oh, we have our new hero. Right. Well, I guess he may as well just travel alongside the other army. We can have him show up to battles as a reinforcement, or he could explore this way, I suppose. I'm not really sure how difficult I'm expecting the combat to be. You know what, let's have him work as a scout. He was out scouting on his own before. Probably he's like reasonably good at it. Alright, and our research facilities are up and running. So like I said, we have 2 different research trees. We are producing 25 science per turn. So what do we want here? They recommend unshackling, which will give us a heightened vision mod. So once we have a couple of mods like this researched, we can edit our unit designs again in a fairly familiar way if you've watched the Endless Legend series. This unit gains plus 20% accuracy, seems great. Plus 1 strategic vision range and detection, allowing it to see concealed units on the strategic map. And also 5 health, because you can store some extra health in your extra eye. And Sundering Claws. Sundering Claws seems pretty good, removing armor from enemies. We can also pick up acidic composites. Okay, let us melt armor with our weapons instead of just our claws. And this is a bioweapon. Reduces affected units of biochemical resistance by 3 points for 3 turns. Which, you know, like the vomit is biochemical damage. It's that same damage type, so I can see what the value of that is. This unit gains 4 something resistance. Also, each time they deal a killing blow, they gain a dark reward, increasing their damage by 20% per stack. Wow. That seems okay. Additionally, this mod grants 10% increased damage on all abilities. Wow. This stuff down here seems pretty alright. Target enemy takes 20, that's like psychic damage, and suffers massive impact. What on earth does that mean? No, can I not get... Clicking on this is not doing anything at all. That's a shame. In addition, there's a strength 8 chance to apply a reduction to psionic resistance and morale. I kind of want to do this one. I know it's recommending up here, but this seems cool. No, they're probably right. Accuracy increases, armor reduction, that stuff is all a good idea. We will allow the game to guide us for the moment. Alright, down here they recommend Frontier Facilities. Additional happiness building. Upgrades the Colony Militia Army to include better units. I'm assuming the Colony Militia Army is like a static defensive garrison. And the Colonizer. Oh, this is how we settle to new areas. Yeah, that does seem important. And then, since we finished building our thing, I've heard that food is pretty important to us. Maybe we should build some food. Okay, so we can set any sectors that we have annexed into this colony to do stuff. So like when we use our hero to take over new areas, we'll be able to set those areas to do various types of resource production. So we finished the one structure, and it seems like we've lost access to a bunch of the others. Can you only have 1 resource specialization per area? That might be a thing that the tutorial was attempting to make clear to me, and that I just spaced on. Next, we have our replicator up. Yeah, maybe. Alright, well, listen, having more production never hurts. Let's just keep building production. Like I said, we're gonna, we're going to fail a lot in the early going, and we're going to misunderstand things a lot, but we'll get better. Alright, our dude can just run out here and explore. So we can run to the tag in any region, and from there try to annex the region. Can I do it while there are still, like, hostile things there? No, I cannot. Sector limit reached. We need one more colonist before we can add a sector. Okay. What's our colonist... Is this our colonist birth rate around the outside here? Let's see. Colonists. Okay. Growth in 1 turn. With our 19 food. We're going to have an event in 4 turns. Colonists require happiness to stay productive. Positive happiness builds up to a happiness event, giving you a boost in resource income. Unhappiness can lead to an unrest event. Okay. So we're currently accumulating 6 per turn. And then we have, we have our existing colonists are assigned to resources, and we could theoretically, if I turn off auto-assign here... Okay, it's a slightly unintuitive way for this to work. I can't just, like, drag individual colonists from one place to another? That seems really strange. Okay, but yeah, alright, that works, that's fine. I think we'll leave it on auto for now, let the game manage this, because I don't really know what I'm doing. I assume that doing it manually will provide benefit enough to be worth the trouble, at least some of the time, once we do know what we're doing. I'm just going to leave our dude hanging out right next to this, maybe step away from the enemies a little bit. You are done. You are good. Which one of these buttons is you are good? Yeah, that one. Okay. Then our other scout can try to grab a region in the same way. I guess we know we're not able to grab a region. Also, we're far enough away that we wouldn't be able to expand out into these anyway. So is this just something, just a pickup that I can go grab out here on the ocean without having to fight? Nope, never mind. There's totally an enemy on that. So maybe it's the case that there are never pickups that don't have enemies on them. You always have to fight for stuff. I can see a certain video gamey logic to that, right? So we could try to move up to the Morning Dew Highlands tag to grab this region. We could go fight whatever these things are. This is an army belonging to an NPC faction, a group of sentient beings native to the planet. NPC factions can be interacted with and will provide quests and issue demands. Oh, we should probably talk to them then. Seems like that would be worth our time. Assuming this is how we do it, and that I'm not just attacking them. Green smell. A connection. Home. A sour shape, unlike others, yet similar. Okay, he's a psionic fish. Well, we have some things in common. I feel the ripples of the void resonating within you, yet I don't recognize their strange new patterns. What are you? The void. Home is lost. We are, true, maybe. From beyond the veil. Void creatures. This world must seem very strange to you then. We feel with you. The Kirko also lost their homeworld a long time ago. Kirko's soothing, unlike the others we found. They observe, bland gray smell, though they look tasty. Perhaps you want to visit them. Quite close. I'm not sure that I do. Visit the tasty ones. Okay, this is an exploration quest that is actually very far away from where we are now. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So can we interact again? We could tell them that this reality has no place for creatures like them. Seems like a bad idea. Start negotiating with the dwelling. Receive a quest from them to improve your relation. And if we spend enough influence, we can convince them to give us their little settlement. Listen, I would love to help. What if we were friends? Could we be friends? The archaic ones, they hunt us. We try calmness. It is not effective. They are caught in the past. We try reaching, they hunt us, we flee. Okay, go out there and kill all those dudes. I could do that, and you'll give us some stuff. A relations bonus, 10 influence, and a bunch of science. Seems good. Seems worth my time. That said, we do have a quest. You know what? It's okay to get distracted from your big quest in order to go kill some things for some psychic jellyfish that you just met. Everybody knows that. That's one of the core rules of video games. Okay, so this turn we should be able to pick up a new domain if we want. The game is suggesting we pick that one up, though. It does have green text for its name, whereas a lot of the other ones have white. That probably just means this is the recommended one. I was about to say, I wonder if the green means, hey, there's more food here. But probably it's just because that's where the recommendation is. Well, alright. Let's have Pause go and take that then, I guess. Rather than the one he was looking at. Okay, you're just out here exploring. Oh, it looks like this pickup actually does not have anybody posted directly on it. The remains of this transport contain a salvageable energy pod. Cool. Unfortunately, its destroyed systems reveal no data on the convoy's origin, destination, or what led to its destruction. That's fine, I'll take 45 power, although doesn't actually look like we get a lot of value out of that. And then I'm just going to stay away from the void fish. There's something cool over here, but unfortunately it is guarded. Alright, let's mess these dudes up. In the name of some guys that we just met. 480, huh? So, Paragon, Soldiers, and Guards. We have fully recovered our health. It looks like you heal pretty quickly. I think auto combat's probably... oh, wow. Maybe auto combat's not fine. We lost a surprising number of units there. Okay, we'll manually resolve combat from now on. And that lets us watch the replay. It does not let us go back and try that manually. Okay, we could sell off our rewards for 26 power. Or energy. I guess you must get into situations where energy will be pretty tight. I'm fine actually taking this reward, though. So a 10-point relations bonus. We don't actually, really know what that means. How good 10 points of relations are. Okay, we'll annex a new sector soon. I just dismissed that. So, end turn. Okay, yeah, we'll have to do a lot of manual combat resolution, it looks like. Unshackling. Hey look, we did it. Let's select a new research. What have we unlocked here? Regeneration, accelerated healing. That seems like a thing that might be valuable in a general sense, but again, our units did heal from that one combat pretty quickly. Maybe this isn't really necessary? Oh, it does heal them actually during combat as well. Actually, that seems pretty good then. Yeah, let's get regeneration. If it results in us not having to build as many units, that seems pretty powerful. Alright, and new research here. So we already have nurturing, right? This is the thing that we got for free at the beginning. We could move up to Shadow's Manifest. All newly recruited Cynumbra units start with I'm assuming that's a level. In addition, they spawn an Echo of Despair upon death that lasts until the end of combat. Let's not plan for their deaths just yet, shall we? Okay, we also have area surveillance already, so we have a lot of options here. But it seems like food development is pretty important to us, given that it's our next quest and everything. Yeah, sure. Let's pick up food developments. This will add 1 level to all food sectors, which will increase it makes them better, obviously. And it gives us the ability to build new sector upgrades. This can only be built in an agriculture exploitation sector. Okay, let's research that. We know we need food. We'll worry about the specifics of what those buildings all do in a little bit. Ops ready to prime. Okay, this is new. What is this? Operation strength determines how effectively you can use special operations against other players. Operation defense determines how good you are at defending against them. So we can deploy a monitor. Station provides the deploying player with vision for 6 hexes and sensor coverage for 12. It's concealed and can only be detected by other players with detection. Or we could reveal the location of the nearest unexplored hostile spawner. Oh, okay, it's not just wild packs of enemies. They're being spawned actively by things. Yeah, that actually seems like maybe important. So this is a thing that we can spend energy on, and then also, what is this resource? Strategic operation points. Okay. They reset each turn. We also have some doctrine operations. Level up our units more quickly from combat. All owned colonies provide from an increase of 20% food income. That actually seems pretty powerful, right? And it requires 1 doctrine slot. Yeah, let's do this, right? We wanna grow our situation as quickly as possible here. So we'll use our doctrine slot on that, and that'll run for a couple of turns. Alright, he's going to go forth and annex this sector. This will build us a little base which will effectively fold this sector's land into our city's land. It projects domain and allows you to gather income. Cool. So that'll happen over the course of the next turn. And I guess he can, I don't know, head back over to the Rootlands thing to grab that when we gain the ability to do so. And we can actually have our scout be heading in the direction of that that marker that we received, the quest marker from the jellyfish guys. So now that we have a little bit of influence and a little bit of relationship with them. Oh, I ran out of move. Okay. Well, I guess we'll interact with them later. You build ourselves another colonizer, might be a good idea. Build up our military infrastructure. I don't know, it's probably a good idea to expand, right? It's going to cost us 30 cosmite, which we do not have a ton of income of. But we also haven't seen anything else that costs cosmite. And this will consume one of our colony, or one of our population. Maybe we should wait until we have another point of population before we do that. Just thinking I don't want to have this not happen because we dipped back below the population threshold. But then again, I guess if that's a thing that can happen, we want to know about it. Oh, it's going to take 3 turns to build this anyway. Yeah, just get to work on that. Empire task, the Technologist, unlocked. So I don't know how we unlocked this, but I do know that it doesn't look all that hard to do. We can definitely apply unit mods to our units. Use 5 tactical operations in combat. Okay, so like, we'll have to do some combats manually in order to do that. And if we do it first, we'll receive a random hero item. Well, that sounds like a good thing. I wonder how powerful those are. Let's go find out. So you have an unexploited sector. Can you imagine the horror of it? Let's do an agriculture exploitation on it. So hold on, the sector itself has some traits here. It is Arcadian. The Arcadian climate is an unspoiled, harmonious wilderness, predominantly consisting of grasslands. So as an Arcadian exploitation, it gives an extra level to food and energy sectors. Because it's a fertile plain, it gives an extra level to research and food sectors. Because there's a river, you get plus 10 food for each sector with... Okay, you get plus 10 food, okay. And then it also gives 10 food because it's a meadow. And it also has an overgrown biodome, which is giving it 10 food. This seems like a really good place to build an agricultural exploitation. So, sector production... Yeah, do that. 2 turns until that is active. And then it said that we have... Oh, never mind. The option's gone now. Maybe we have to wait for it to get improved since I started improving it. But there was an option to upgrade the area. I'm not 100% sure what that does. We'll find out. Okay. We require this location. We have enough influence now to do this. Should we just... I mean, are they going to be... This will march their army out of the space, I guess. So then we could take it over. Yeah, sure. We shall vacate. The essence of power, its taste. You understand. That's a weird way of expressing that. Okay. So we've discovered some blurring canisters. Draw a canister that creates a blurring cloud that makes units inside harder to hit. This mod can only be applied to hero units. And also 49 food. I'll take it. So if we click on our dude here, you can see we have some mod slots available. We have completed some things that we might want to... Oh, I see. Cosmite is also used to equip mods. Well, I think we should go ahead and give our dude here the accuracy bonus. It looks like we don't want to mod units out too much, because we really don't have a lot of Cosmite to play with. And then we can equip this at no cost, so probably we ought to. And we do not have a third relevant thing for you. And then we could mod up our basic troops as well. You can see the cost is non-negligible, but Sundering Claws do seem valuable. 10% increased damage and also remove enemy armor. Let's go ahead and mod these guys. The Cleaving Frenzied, sure, that'll work as a name. And so now it's going to take a turn for them to re-equip. Heroes re-equip instantly, but other units take a turn. And now when we build more Frenzied, which we probably should do pretty soon, we will have the option of making them Cleaving Frenzied right out the gate, which we almost certainly will do. Alright, where is that quest node? It's down here. Let's try to carefully route myself around all of the enemies. It seems like they're mostly content to just sit and not do anything. Hazards linger as a reminder of weapons of mass destruction that were deployed in the past. They have a sector-wide effect on armies in that sector, both on the map and in tactical combat. They apply an economic penalty to the colony center when they are one of its sectors. It can be removed by using the Remove Hazard operation. Okay. So that's this area. What is going on here? Sector is under a veil of tranquility, granting refuge to the faithful and damnation to the accused. Boy, it's really easy to become the accused. Annexing this sector reduces your research. Every combat turn, enlightened units get healed, but units that are soul burned take... Okay, I don't even know. Do we have enlightened units? Listen, there's a lot of stuff in the game. We'll learn this over time. Basically, for right now, I just want to avoid that area, it seems like. Let's just not even mess with it. A Kirko. My huntresses demonstrated keen instincts when they scouted your colony. Though it is not surprising that your race, engineered to adapt to different tasks and environments, did survive the cataclysm. Ethical or not, Terratech Incorporated always aimed for perfection. Good. I'm thankful to them, I guess, for building me perfectly. Do not mention the name of that accursed company in our presence, human. Murderers, mutilators. That's what they are called among my people. When they defiled our queens, there could have been no greater guilt. Keep your calm, Kirko. You misunderstand. If anything, the adaptive capabilities of your race are an inspiration to the Amazon. When we shape the land, when we tame its different plants and beasts, even when we redesign our own genetic profile, we apply the same principles that make your species excel in so many of nature's most important disciplines. Though there is another life form that has recently caught our attention. The Psyfish are sentient, psionically gifted beings, which are as alien and terrifying to us as they are intriguing. Sound familiar? Then maybe you want to help and act as a mediator, to make sure this particular first contact won't go wrong. They want me to introduce them to my fish friends. I guess I accept? Curious what the consequences of this will be. Only with great reluctance the Kirko Tarim agree to reach out in cooperation. Not for your sake or that of your experiments, human, but for the sake of the Psyfish, which sound like their fate could be oddly related to our own. They may need our shelter. Yeah, it's good to help people out. Okay, so we've visited the tasty ones now. A little bit more influence, some food and stuff. Humans have asked you to befriend the local Psyfish. Change your diplomatic state to peace. So does that just increase relations with them until it becomes peace, or is that something I have to actively do? We'll get access... Okay, so they'll fight for us if we want them to. And we'll get a little bit of Cosmite, which seems maybe not easy to come by. So is there a screen here where I can see all of our diplomatic relations? All rival commanders and native NPC factions you encounter are listed in the diplomacy interface. Good, that seems like a good place to do that. So, fish guys, what's up? We are currently neutral with 10 favor. 10 more favor, we will enter the next state, which is presumably peace. Yeah, okay, we're here neutral. You get to peace, friendship, and finally integration. We can trade with them using influence as a currency directly. Okay, interesting. Well, looks like we need to probably just do some more quests for them. So we unlocked a task. Go to war with another player and kill 6 of their units. I'm not too stressed about it. Boy, units gain 400 morale in battle against other players. I wonder how, I wonder if 400 is like a big amount? Is that a big deal? Also, if we sign a non-aggression pact with those guys and maintain a peaceful relationship for a little while, we'll get a new doctrine operation, and all your colonies instantly gain 50 happiness. That would be cool. Can we do that with these guys? Would they sign a non-aggression pact with me? Let's see. Okay, we're gonna have to negotiate for that. Diplomatic alliances can be forged and trade can be conducted here. Left list contains things you can offer. Right thing, yeah, the right list is their stuff. Current offer is located on the bottom on each side. Hey, what if we did a non-aggression pact? Okay, we have to wait at least 3 turns before we can even talk about this situation. Well, in that case, I don't have anything to say. We could pronounce some things. I could pronounce that you're fun and cool. At the cost of 10 of my hard-earned influence. You know what? I'll do it. Let's make friends. Thank you for your kind message. Though we may not yet share the best relationship, this will pave the way toward mutual respect. Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping. Well, we'll talk again in a couple of turns. And we have our sector base over here. So what's my food income now? Plus 30. In 2 turns, we'll have this thing. You know, we're getting there. We're getting there on that quest. We are preserving the future. We did it. We enacted the doctrine. Also, something bad is happening over here. Hold on, I got a mouse over a tooltip. Unidentified forces. You know, I'll be there shortly. Kind of have another thing I want to do first. Maybe we should back this army off and get some more units in here, because I've kind of screwed things up. We'll finish building the colonizer, then we'll build some more military units, and we'll just be very cautious until then. We're about to get another point of population. Do we have enough population to annex some more here? Cannot establish a colony adjacent... Oh, sorry, I want to talk about annexing. Needs 3 more colonists before it can take another sector over. Okay. So I guess... this guy doesn't really have a ton of value to do. He can look around for, lootables. Lootables that don't have enemies all over them, maybe. And you kind of got done what you needed to get done. Time to flee from the marauders. Actually, that looks like it might be... It is indeed a lootable that does not have any enemies on it. Sound the alarm! Man the defenses! Troopers! Another wave of bugs is upon us, and we won't go down without a fight. Another wave? More of our brethren must have sought refuge on this planet. Did Hathal Uruk not come alone? We must focus our senses to detect their presence. I'm working on it. Okay. Find the other Kirko. Well, I could do that, probably, maybe. Hold on, we were not done moving that guy yet. I wanted to get this stuff. Alright, another 29 energy. And then, man, we are really fast. So this this triangle border here, this is the land belonging to the humans. Probably they would not be super pleased with us for entering it. Can we cross it? Yeah, okay, we can cross it and they don't get too mad, it looks like. A message from the Scyfish. Renegades, hostile souls, violent red, must be put down, eradicated. Do this, reward awaits. Okay, I mean, that does give us the 10 relations that we need. Unfortunately, we're not really in a great state to fight at the moment. I want to just get vision of whatever is going on at this quest node. We don't see... Okay, there's some glowy stuff over here. Yeah, let's head in this general direction. We cannot do anything with the silkworm woods. Again, pretty good food output. Okay, and you are seeking these other Kirko. We don't have a marker for them, so I guess let's just like look around the borders of these guys' territory. That seems like a sensible way to go about this to me. The Dwelling of Distorted Waters. Yeah, okay, that looks pretty distorted. What is going on here? Well, first of all, that's an awful lot of very large scyfish. I'm sure once we make friends with them, that will seem a little bit less menacing. Okay, you don't actually have enough movement to get any closer to the thing we're trying to get closer to. And we have our new colonizer. The game is suggesting we come up here to Tender's Grove. Can we not settle here? I guess we don't need to settle here, right? We could just settle adjacent to it and then annex it. What else might I want to do? And there's this farm thing, right? We can't settle here, though. This is adjacent to land we already own. We would have to annex this. This would seem to be the thing we would want to annex next, right? So I think I'm going to go ahead and follow the suggestion here. Tender's Grove seems... Or maybe it's just saying that's an area where you could settle because it's not adjacent to any of your existing settlements. Well, I'm down with that. That seems okay. There's a terraforming outpost over here, which is going to give us some additional food. Visiting units gain 2 to all resistances in their next combat, because of all the stimulants. Yeah, that seems like a place to go. Wow, colonizers are very fast in this game. Yeah, we'll go ahead and found a colony here. We'll annex the shipping center. That seems reasonable enough. Okay, I think we're starting to get kind of a grasp of it. Some kind of very basic grasp. And I see here that we've been playing for an hour, so this probably ought to be where we call it for now. That is going to be it for us for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. My intent here is to release another hour of gameplay every weekday, but there will probably be an extra episode or two in the next couple of days as we just sort of like really sink our teeth in here and get a grasp of the mechanics. So come back probably later today for more of this, and we'll see you then.